Hi guys, this is Donna with Love Rocks. Hope that you enjoy this. This is our party parrot. Did this one in light of the new year, and I hope you enjoy it. So as we begin, I'll tell you that the paints and the brushes, the dotting tool, the sealer, and the acrylic pen will all be listed with links in the description. So you'll be able to find all of those things. I want to start off by saying thank you to everybody who came and subscribed to our channel for the last video. Really appreciate it. We took everybody who commented in the video, put them in a drawing, and drew out 2 names for the 2 rocks from that video. We got those sent out this week. We'll be doing that again with this video. After you watch this video, please make sure to comment in the comment section under this video, and we will do the drawing about 24 hours after it comes out, and then I will notify you, get an address, and we'll get your rock sent out. There's only 1 rock this time instead of 2, so make sure you get that as quickly as you can. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Once you subscribe, you'll get the notification that videos come out, and I give all of my video rocks away. So make sure that you get that done as soon as possible. It also helps support us so that we can put out more videos. So here we are, a few days before Christmas. I think we're about 6 or 7 days out. And I thought I might do a few New Year rocks. I know that Valentine's Day is going to be pushing New Year's out of the way here real soon. Usually start seeing it in the stores by the day after Christmas. So I wanted to get some New Year's stuff out as quick as I could before Valentine's Day just intrudes and takes over the country. So I'll probably put out 1 or 2 more before it turns into Valentine's. Please give me some comments about things that you'd like to see. I would love to hear what people are working on, see what kinds of things you're doing. This is a community that is full of so much artistic ability, and I love seeing everybody's rocks. So please let me know. Also, if you'd like to share your rocks with us so that we can see it and we can all celebrate your amazing talents, get on our Facebook group, also known as Love Rocks, or our Instagram under Love Rocks, and share your page or share your pictures. We would love to see them. If there are things that you would like to see, you can share that at any one of those media outlets as well as here. And let's all be able to see what everybody's doing. I'm working on I think there's 3 things on my desk. My desk's in the other room, so I'm not looking at it currently. I know I have a mountain scene. It's a dark, snowy night mountain scene with a glow in the background and pine trees. I'm also working on another gnome, and he's going to be a surprise because he's one that I've never done before, but it's a cowboy gnome. So once I get that perfected enough that I can get it done on video, then I will get that out for everybody to see. And then the last thing I'm working on is another bird, a smaller bird. I have been asked to try to do a Highland cow. My sister owns Highland cows, and she would love to have one with a Highland cow. So if something happens that I can get that perfected in a way that you can tell it's a Highland cow, I will make sure and do a video on that one in her name, because she really loves her little cows. But any ideas would be great. Also, I've been trying to get some rocks together for the holiday. I think I said in my last video we're going to be going across 3 states for Christmas, and I'd like to drop some rocks. at different places. I drop them at rest areas, parks, any place that there's a bench. I just love to drop them. And then on the back of them, I have printed my Facebook group that is open to the public. So if anybody does find a rock, they can get on there and they can share that they found it and that they either painted another rock and replaced it or they rehid that one. Either way. And it's just kind of a fun thing to do in a world that doesn't have a lot of fun things to do most of the time. So I really enjoyed that piece of it. Kind of got my family involved in this, not on purpose, but it happened. I've got a grandchild that's getting a set for Christmas because he wants to paint rocks with me, and that just warms my heart. So definitely, they make some really great little kits for kids. And this is a perfect opportunity to do something with your grandkids or with your own children. It doesn't matter how big they are, how little they are, how good they are. Painting a rock, anybody can do. And it's a lot of fun. It's great to see what kinds of things that they can come up with. So make sure that you share all of that expertise that you have. So with the holidays coming up fast, and everybody is super busy and there's not a lot of extra time, I hope everybody's taking a little bit of time out of their day to relax and take a breath and make sure that you're reflecting in the blessings that we all have gotten throughout the year. I know my family and I have been very blessed. So this little guy, he was a lot of fun. I've only done this particular bird one other time, and it's been a little while, so I had to try to remember in the back of my head exactly how he looked, and I think he's a little bit different than the first time that I painted him, definitely. But I think I told you that I don't use acrylic pens very often, and I want to start playing with my acrylic pen. I first ordered a thin acrylic pen, I think is how they described it. I got it, and I hated it. It's got a big old line, and I really am not sure what I would ever use that for. So I went back in and I found a fine line pen, and I ordered those, and I think that came in a 3-piece set. I got those, and it was not very fine line. So then I went back to the search engine, and I found some very fine line pens, and these I like. They are very fine. Comes in a package of 6. It's 2 black, 2 white, and 2, they call it dark gray. It's kind of a charcoal color. And I really like them. I need to practice with them, so I did play with it on this one. I used it for some of the feathering around his little wing there on the side. I used it to define a little bit around his eye. Underneath him, I used it a little bit. I used it on the twig that runs under his feet, and then I used it on his toes. I think it did the purpose that I was looking for, but I don't know that it's exactly how I wanted it. So I'll just keep playing with it. And I think that's a very good lesson for everybody. If there is something that you want to try to master and you keep thinking, it's awful, it doesn't look good, it doesn't look right, or whatever, please keep using it. If it's something you want to master, use it and use it. You'll figure out your way of using it, the way you like it, the way it feels comfortable to you, and the places you like it. I didn't use it all over this little guy, and I can tell you a lot of people will put in a ton more feathers than I did. I just needed a few wisps here and there where the light was touching the light, and there wasn't a lot of contrast, but I needed to show that that wing was there. And I thought, you know what, that pin's perfect. I can mark in some, and it's going to show feathers without me having to do a ton of weird shading right there. And it worked. It's not perfect, but it definitely worked. So I'm going to keep playing with it. And I'm hoping that I get to the point that I can master it. I also use the dotting tool for his eye. That's another thing that if you have never used a dotting tool, it takes a little bit of practice, not a ton, but it does take a little bit of practice. You want to know what consistency your paint is and which one works the best. If your paint is too dry, you'll get what's called a peak. So when you dot it on, it'll have this little wispy peak on the top, and then you've got all this excess paint. If your paint's too wet, it'll run. So the biggest thing with the dotting tool is just figuring out the consistency of the paint. The other thing is there's a lot of sizes. I think my set comes with, probably 8 different sizes. So the size measurement isn't that big of a deal. You can look at them and figure out, eyeball which size you want to use for whatever it is that you're painting. But dipping it does make a big deal. So you can either dip, very fragilely along the edge of it and just get a small, nice, perfect round dot. You can dip it all the way in, and then you wind up with kind of a bloppy dot, kind of oblong. I've used both. I have a couple of things that I've done eyes with that I needed something oblong. So I will dip that thing all the way in, really like a medium thickness paint. And then when I dot it on, pull it down just a little bit, and you'll get a nice oblong dot, like when you're doing an owl or something like that. And then, of course, if you're doing snowflakes, I use them to decorate my snowflake. I'll put in my lines, put in my snowflake lines, get everything on, and then I'll go back and I'll decorate my snowflake with the dotting tool. And that you want almost a perfect circle. So it's important that each dot be dipped and each dot be placed, and your equipment be wiped between, I would say, no more than 2 dots. And you clean it off and then you dip again. And so those are kind of some of the little tricks that you use for some of this equipment. At least it's the tricks that I've figured out. I told you in my last video I was going to bring together a brush and show you one of the brushes that I'm starting to use for blending. And I want to play with the blending brush just a little bit more before I bring it out on a video, so that I'm not showing you how to do something wrong. But I'm really looking forward to using this blending brush that I made. So that hopefully will be after the first of the year. We'll get that video out, and we'll talk about the blending brush. Because if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know I love to shade and I love to highlight. It just brings so much life to your pictures, and it gives it contrast, and it gives it that 3-dimensional look. So I do enjoy shading and highlighting. And many of these brushes you can do it with, but it tends to be a little more difficult. That's why I wanted to produce a blending brush that wasn't quite so difficult to use. I made one size, but I'm probably going to go back in and try to make one more size. I need a little teeny tiny one for blending down into corners and things like that. And then the larger one, which is the one I'm playing with right now. Sealers, I told you that at some point we'll play with some resins, but for now I'm still using spray seals. I give all of my rocks away, whether it's after a video or whether it's friends or family. I give all my rocks away, or I hide them. So I don't want to spend a lot of money on resin right now, when I would rather spend it on things that I can incorporate into my videos. I want to give you guys the best idea of different things that you can use and things that you can have instead of spending a bunch of money on resin. So at some point, I'll probably do some resin, but right now, I just use the spray sealers. Most of my rocks I'll spray about 4 times. I let them dry. I spray on the initial sealer on the front. Allow that to dry, and it's usually a pretty thin layer. Allow that to dry. Flip it over, sign it, and I go ahead and spray that side, and I'll spray it a little heavier than the front. Let that dry, flip it back over the next day, do the front again, and then do the back. And so it gets sprayed 4 times. I guess each side gets sprayed twice. But that's usually enough to keep it from getting wet or smudging or anything like that if I place it outside. If I have a rock with a lot of crevices, and I know that it's going to be a rock that's going to go outside, and I know that in some of those crevices water's going to sit, I will give it a little heavier spray. Definitely a little heavier spray. The other thing is I've painted rocks. I've painted every kind of rock out there. I love smooth rocks, and what we see on the video is smooth rocks, but I'm telling you, I have painted everything. I have painted lava rock, which if you have never seen lava rock, it is full of little holes where the bubbles were when the lava was being made. And so I think lava rock looks so cool. And so I leave it around the edges and on the back fairly natural, and then I just paint on the very, very top of the lava rock. And a lot of times what I'll do is I will actually take my older paint that's gotten thick that I am not going to be using for painting, and I will take and slather that into those holes and let them dry for 2 or 3 days, and then put some more in and let that dry for 2 or 3 days until I build up a flat surface where I'm going to paint. And then I will put a matte white over the top of that, and then I'll do my painting. But then the rest of the lava rock with all those crevices and creases, I will leave natural. I won't put anything into those until I get ready to seal. When I seal, especially around the very, very edges of where the paint is, I make sure that I seal that really good. I might do 5, 6 layers of spray and letting them dry really well in between layers, because I want to make sure that nothing gets underneath one of those layers into my paint and breaks that seal. But if you ever get a chance to do lava rock, it's fun. Maybe we'll do a video with lava rock. It's really pretty when you get done. And yeah, I'll have to see if I still got some around, and if I do, we'll do a video on one. Maybe we can do some sort of an outside landscape with one. It'd be fun. Granite is gorgeous. I love granite. Anytime I find a rock with granite, I try to get that done with something special. Trying to think what other kinds of... out here in Texas, I found some red rocks. They're kind of a strange color. They're a reddish yellow, and I've used them a couple of times. And when you put the sealer on them, they really have some pretty colorations in them. I've always been a rock hound, and so the painting on rocks is new, the loving of rocks is not. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Please, again, like and subscribe. That way you guys will get in on the new videos when they come out, and join us again. Hopefully we'll be out with another video in another week. This one should come out on Sunday. Have a great day and Merry Christmas. Bye for now.